Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another webinar with the Small Business Center. Today, our topic is video marketing, how to promote your video to Skyrocket sales. Our apologies about this morning. Our presenter had some technical issues and we weren't able to do that. However, Maureen had very kindly decided to be able to record the webinar so that all our attendees will at least have the recording. And then we will try our best to reschedule this webinar again in in the future, so that if you have any questions, then you will be able to ask the questions directly. However, if you do have questions about this webinar, you can also contact Maureen directly, and we will come back to her contact information at the end of this webinar. So without further ado, let me turn this over to Maureen McCabe from McCabe Marketing. Maureen?
Hi, thanks so much for inviting me, Rayhan, and apologies to the group. I had I call them magical wizards not working on my side today for the technology, and I apologize. What I'd like to just tell you just a little bit about myself. McCabe Marketing is based in Toronto. We're a marketing company that works exclusively with small business, startups, entrepreneurs. The objective is really to have a strong understanding today of what is video marketing and why does your business really want to engage with it. And so everyone knows the expression, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but I've added, and a minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. And that's not me saying it, that's Forrester researchers saying it. So let's look at the agenda for this afternoon. We'll talk a little bit about social media insurance. I want to talk specifically things you should be doing on your website for your video, how you should be communicating to others about the video that you have or a series of videos, the social media sites that you should be using or considering, and then a little bit of information on how I got found by the media, because I had 4 videos and I've had 4 interviews thus far, 2 newspaper, 1 TV, and 1 print magazine. And of course, there's always ideas of how can you reuse or repurpose the video content that was created. Social media insurance. I came up with that phrase. It's a phrase I've referenced in a report I wrote called 8 money-burning marketing mistakes that your businesses are making and basically losing profits. And so reason number 2 in the report of these 8 marketing errors is that there's no brand identity or online protection. What I mean by this is you book your website name, you bought the domain, and you don't think anything of, well, gee, when I'm ready to use my name, like McCabe Marketing on Twitter, can I actually get McCabe Marketing, or on Facebook? So really, even though you're not using some of these social media platforms today, you may even have no desire that you think you ever will. Set up your social media profiles now. It's just an email address that you then have the ownership. You can fill in the details, add photos later at some future point in time. Anything in red in this presentation is hot. Need to need to remember. Okay, if for some reason you had to leave this webinar at this very moment in time, I want to explain this never ever. When you go to a website, the video should never automatically start playing so that you hear the voice. This is horrific if you do it on your website. You should not do it on your homepage. You should not do it on your landing page if you have, for example, a pay-per-click ad. You should not do it on any page on your website. And people will ask why. Well, if you're in the office, employed, reality is you're searching on company time doing personal things. Do you want your employees or your peers around you knowing that you're searching about a divorce lawyer or personal bankruptcy? Those are 2 real examples of videos in Toronto that I have found that automatically play. As well, if you're at home, even though you're in the privacy of your own home, if you're looking for a divorce lawyer, not sure if you want your kids to know that or your spouse to know that. Lastly, when you have the videos play automatically or that they start automatically, the speed to download can be such that people will then make a decision just to leave the website. And in particular, in some industrial areas across, I know for sure, Canada and the U.S., the performance, even though they have high-speed internet, when it comes to video and loading it, it's deadly. So when you make the decision you've got a website, you're going to host the video, you have to understand where you're actually going to put the video. So before you can decide that, you have to understand some fundamentals. So for example, how quickly does your website currently load? What's the speed? If you don't have Google Webmaster Tools, your web people can set it up for you. It's a companion tool to Google Analytics. if you're having a company that provides your hosting, you have to understand what the bandwidth limits are. And what I mean by that is if you're only paying $4 or $5 a month, they've identified that you only need this much space. Well, if you have a video that starts skyrocketing, which is what I hope you do, you might run out of space, and therefore you have all these dissatisfied people come into your site. As well, there are things regarding technical aspects that you can check with your folks, but slow-loading videos can affect the JavaScript, anything relating to plugins. So now we come to, if you actually have a video that's hosted on your own website, you can create a video sitemap. Now, most web developers don't volunteer this extra work for them to do. You just need to ask for it. And Google has an excellent tip. Sorry about that. Google has a great educational page for your developers to learn about video sitemaps. So you have 3 choices of where you're going to host the video: on Vimeo, on YouTube, and on your website, which is HTML5. So as we've discussed, if it's going to be done on your website, you've got to ensure you've got enough bandwidth. You can host it. And only if you host it on your site do you create a video sitemap. I have my video and those of my clients all on Vimeo, my video on Vimeo. And here's why. And I'll show you some screenshots in a couple minutes. Vimeo looks nicer. It's much cleaner. Vimeo loads faster than YouTube. And like YouTube, they have a free basic membership. Why you want to use YouTube? Absolutely, to post your video to get that whole social media value. They are the 2nd largest search engine in the world. Really quick tip, when you're developing a video, YouTube is a perfect platform to use to share the drafts while you're working on it. Because on YouTube, you have the option to publicly publish your video or just have it privately shown. And so when you go with the public option, we all know what that is, but most folks aren't aware of the private option. And if you ask your web developer to do that, not your web developer, your video developer to do that for you, it'll really improve the time for the revisions and the reviews. Okay, here's an example of a video gallery, happens to be mine. Just want to point out that there are 3 videos across the page. Traditionally, most people have a column on their page with the standard page layout. What I'm suggesting is when you have a video gallery, you don't need to have that, I'll call it the right-hand column, where you've got some contact information, maybe a form, a testimonial. You want to maximize people seeing the videos, and hopefully over time you're going to have rows and rows and rows of them. So this is Vimeo. Note that the arrow is down at the bottom part of the screen. You can see my complete face. Now let's go to this next one. This is YouTube. YouTube puts a sign, their button, right smack in the middle of the woman's face. And it really takes away from the cleanness. So I talked about it being nicer looking. You can see that. Now when we have a video, you need to make it very prominent on your website. And here's mine. You have my top navigation, a banner with a guy on the ladder, and then you have me. That's the CTV interview that I posted on my homepage. Where can you put your video? Lots of places, more places than you possibly think. So we just talked about putting the video on the homepage. Let me tell you about the difference, what video does for you when you put it on your homepage. A typical person who comes to your website will give you less than 10 seconds to stay. Your stats are probably 50, 60% of the people or more are leaving within 10 seconds. When they have a video to watch, they'll give you up to 20 seconds. So that's why we use the phrase sticky eyeballs. The eyeballs will stay stuck on your screen because they're watching your video. There's a number of other places you can put your video. Your About page is the 2nd or 3rd most visited page on your entire website. So before they make the decision to hire you, to spend some money purchasing a product line as well, who is this company? So this is a great spot to put an About page video. It can be a welcome, it could be even a customer testimonial, but to have some content there, because when they visit that page, you've got a high probability of them actually watching it. So of course we talked about the video galleries. If you have different products and have a need for help or specific how-to instructions, that's great. Your videos should be noted in the mega footer. That's the footer at your website. I'll show you some examples there. Your videos should be referenced in your sitemap and of course in your blog, which is new for me. This is something new I've just started doing the last kind of month or so, so I'm kind excited to share it with you. So the tip number 2 on the presentation is create or redesign your video with a website in mind. Right? So you create your video with the website in mind, but more importantly, you always think of the website and how it can be restructured to fit into your leveraging your website video. Social media buttons. Yes, you should have them on your site, but you don't have to have every social media button that you have a profile for. Really just focus on your key ones, and they can be in the top navigation and in the footer. It's important for everyone to, as an aside tip, not related to videos, tip number 3, to include the +1 button, which is Google's equivalent of the Facebook-like, because Google has Google+. So that helps with your SEO. And as well, you need to determine which pages you want to link to Google+, like the post or the about page, similar with YouTube, since there's more than one page you can connect them to. So when you have these social buttons in your footer or top navigation or both, you have to think very carefully where you're going to connect them. Okay, so here's how McCabe Marketing features video on every page. My page has been designed that on the left side of the screen, 2/3 is text, and on the right third, there's a 1/3 column. There's a video, there's a testimonial, and then there's a did you know informational piece. Now, I'd like to talk briefly about testing landing pages with video. A landing page is typically a page that you send someone to when they've seen your ad. Perhaps it was a Google or a pay-per-click ad or on Bing or Yahoo. So rather than directing the person just to your home page, you create a special page. So for example, you've been advertising ladies' shoes. You just don't send them to the home page where it talks about family clothing. When they go to that specific page, they're more targeted, and you'll have a far likely or greater success in getting them to become a client or a prospect or a lead. What they've done in this mode of testing what works and what doesn't work on a landing page is when they did tests and they put a video on a landing page and they didn't have a video, 11% more people in this landing page case study converted. That is, they took action versus 6.5%. So the skyrocketed numbers jumped by 69% because they had a video. And there's light box modal pop-up conversions, and those are elements that you can research and see what those differences are. But the bottom line is video skyrockets forward your conversions, which are people who are contacting you, requesting pricing, or actually buying something online. Most people aren't really aware of how to fully leverage the video. It's like, hey, we created it. It's on our website. Hey, we're even on YouTube. And I say, hey, that's great. But let's talk about where you want to use it every day. How can you communicate that you have videos to get your customers and your prospective customers to view them? So if you have a newsletter, you can put it in the newsletter. If you write a white paper or you've got customer proposals, they've asked you to provide a quote. I offer a free report on my site. A lot of people have free reports, so there's some really great places where you can put your video. Now, what I've done by accident is clicked on the wrong couple slides, so I apologize. Let's talk about invoices. This is the McCabe Marketing Invoice, and if you'll notice midway on the screen, the second sentence says, to learn more about the 10-hour profit-boosting marketing checkup and watch the video, please click here. Yes, my website has a video about the primary service that I sell, which is a 10-hour package for new clients. What better way to communicate in my invoice, in my discussions with them about all that I can do for 10 hours is to keep hammering home, I got a video. We go to your communications regarding email signatures. You can maximize your time and create multiple email signatures so that you can have different videos appear in the actual signature. And what you do is you essentially embed the image, the short title. Let's get to a specific example. So we've got my name, my company. I've deleted for just illustrative purposes where it says phone, email, website, social media links. But then you see an image, and that's my welcome video. And I'm very positive, proactive. Thanks for watching my video. My video is hyperlinked. And I have welcome to McCabe Marketing. Learn how to increase your sales. And so when I send an email note out to someone that I've not communicated with before, they get a standard signature like that. But if I've been on the phone with them and they called me for a free consultation and they seem kind of interested in creating a video, I don't send that digital signature. I have a different one, and all it is a picture of me talking about 7 reasons why your business needs a video. Click here to watch the video. And so it becomes very good internally because people will forward the note around saying, you know, we got a proposal, we talked with this person, what do you think? I've got all these people in the company watching my video because they've never seen this in a signature. And I suggest most of you on the call today haven't thought it. We talked earlier about a mega footer, which is the website footer that lists every single page on your website. And I'm just highlighting here that you have your social buttons. Social buttons on your blog, I would say, are the new thing for 2013. And the reason I say that is that many people don't have them or didn't have them on their blog, or they didn't have them in the right area. So let me share my new tips. Okay, so here's the blog. It's the McCabe Marketing blog about why your business needs business video. And you'll see it was published in February 29, 2012. And below it are social buttons. Now, you'll find that most blogs have them at the bottom. The reason why I put them at the top is because I was told by the company that does my own search engine optimizing. And another thing that I was told by more than one company is that they're encouraging their employees to make a post or tweet every day. And so that because they're too busy to read everything, they often just tweet when it's at the beginning. They tweet it right at the beginning of the post. Now, to be honest with you, that horrifies me. But if that's what people are doing, so be it. I have also just recently learned how to insert a video into my blog. And it was just copying the code from, I actually have it on Vimeo, as I mentioned earlier, and I put it right there. And it's fun because I've now gone back to back to blogs that I wrote in 2012, and I'm adding some of my videos. And it just gives a different read. I actually have a client that's a vocal speech coach, you know, so if you have a fear of public speaking. And what Earl's doing is he actually has a video blog. He has short 2-minute videos. He's in his office. You know, it's kind of messy. It's real. And very good content, and they're very well received. So video blog or add video into your regular old text blog. I'd like to talk very quickly about all the opportunities in social media of where you can be promoting your video. Many people think about, oh, Twitter, I'll write a comment, maybe copy someone else, or hashtag, you know, whatever you're doing. Most people aren't including a video. I have to admit, I didn't know about even doing that. Facebook, you can create a separate tab on YouTube so that you don't have to link externally to YouTube. So on Facebook, you create a separate tab, and it enables people to stay on your site page, and that makes them happier. As well, you've got them more likely than not going off to YouTube, seeing other ads, never to return back to your site. In LinkedIn, you can have both a personal profile and a company profile. You can include videos in those. And what's really exciting is the enriched features LinkedIn's recently added that you can now add a video for each job that you've held or each area. Pinterest, for those of you who aren't aware, is just an online bulletin board where you pin or share photos that you like. They actually now have videos. And so I've had some videos up there since February of 2013. So that's kind of a new functionality. Google Plus just changed in March, and also was previously known as Google Places. You can now have video tab that you displayed at the top of the page. And of course, I keep mentioning embedded in your blog, in your text, everything that you create. Now, I do have a real big beef these days, a little bit frustrated by all these free social media sites because they can change their rules at any time. And what they have been doing lately is changing the rules for their cover photos or the banners, and what you've had created before doesn't fit. Things got automatically on Google Plus changed from a square to a circle, and so it forces you to get new graphics done. Okay. One of the reasons why people often ask, well, why do we have to do so much of this social media stuff relating to my video? If I have it on YouTube, people are going to see it. They're just going to come to me and buy more things. Well, if you talk with the top SEO companies, they're suggesting that 40% of what you do on your website 40% on page, relates to what you're actually doing on your site. Do you have the headlines, the subheadlines, good text, good content? Does it flow well? You know, is the navigation good? Was the code done well? But 60% is really what's happening in terms of what are things being said about your site. Are there links? Are there directories? Are you being mentioned socially? So if you want to look into some research to see which are the most social in terms of popularity, there's a website called eBiz MBA, and you will clearly see that social media sites that you've never heard of are suddenly gaining great attention. And it's, again, go back to my earlier comment, set up a profile, which is just your name, the email address. Don't worry about doing anything more than that. You're claiming it for your social media insurance or brand protection. Video gives you a huge competitive advantage. If you're a small business, this was a U.S. survey done last summer in 2012. 9% of employees from 24 to 99 had video, and it was about 3% if you were less than 10, 2 to 3%. You can complete your entire social media profile later, and things are included here such as your complete company description, the contact info, so they actually have your phone number, the email address. You're consistent across all social media platforms with the phone number, using the same links. And the last point, because I'm a marketer, the logo, the wallpaper, it's all got to be consistent. Your website is where they visit, or they may visit your social media site first, or another 1 or 2 social media sites before they get to you. But you have to look like one company. You can't change your colors, change your characters. There's got to be consistency. And just a last tip, this is a video frustration tip that I have with graphic designers and people in that industry, is if you're not aware that social media formats, layouts change, as I just earlier referenced how Google Plus went from squares to circles, your logo has to be designed with complete flexibility. Okay, so here's talking about consistency, my LinkedIn company page. I'm just here pointing out that the MM is for McCabe Marketing. I had that formatted because they have a unique size, and then I've got one of my banners in LinkedIn. Consistency, you'll see on the left side, McCabe Marketing, strategies and plans, attract more customers, call, free consultation, phone number. It looks the same when you go to YouTube. YouTube has a playlist format, and this is the feed format, but they're in the process of trying to convert everyone to move over to the cover photo, which is one large cover, and it's not as functionally rich, in my opinion. Rayanne, who's hosting today's session as well, feels the same way. So don't feel you have to be forced when social providers say, oh, you've got a new option, because I'm hanging on longer to this current layout until they improve it. YouTube's more than uploading. This is super important. I'm just going to really highlight YouTube, like all the other social media sites, can change their rules at any time, and we're kind of at their mercy because we are using their tool for free. The few key points here. You need to use the keywords in the title of your video. So if you're talking about marketing in Toronto, it wouldn't necessarily be marketing in Toronto. It might be marketing company Toronto or marketing company specialty Toronto. And using the keyword phrases not more than twice, because it can tell it's being overused, and the word they would describe it as is keyword stuffing. In the first line of the description, I have a screenshot following. You have the opportunity to indicate your website and your phone number. You can put any text there, but I'm saying you have the opportunity to do this because then you'll have the opportunity to get more traffic to your site. And that's where you can make a unique offer, such as a free marketing consultation or a free report. So when we look at the tip here about linking from your website to either a playlist or a feed, that was when I talked very early on at the beginning of the presentation, where you have the banners, sorry, not the banners, the buttons, the social media buttons, either in the top navigation or the bottom, that you have to decide which page you want specifically to be linked to. So here's the exact description of what I just tried to explain. Below my picture, so below the orange, you'll see Marketing Company Toronto line, Small Business Marketing Companies Toronto. Guess what my keywords are? My keywords are being used in the title, because that will help people find me on YouTube. Now below it, you'll see the like, thumb up, and the like thumb down. It says uploaded 20th December 2011. But this is what's important. Right now you can see 3 lines in this description. It says 416-949 phone number, HTTP, website address, are you missing key marketing skills is my little description, and then contact us now to book your free consultation, request your. So if people only look at the first line, they see a phone number and they get a website, and they can click from the website to my site. And that's what one journalist did. That's what one journalist did with me. She Googled and found me on, she didn't Google rather, she YouTubed and searched and found me on YouTube. Pinterest. I have trouble saying it. Pinterest is more than photo sharing. I mentioned before you can have a video. So when you go to add a picture or an image, it's much the same steps where you have the add plus and the add a button. You would then insert your video link, YouTube or Vimeo. I want to let you know that to try and upload it from your own hard drive just doesn't work. I tried and gave up probably about 7 or 8 times in a 5-week period because I kept thinking I was doing something wrong and I wanted to see what it would look differently, but you don't have that option. Number 4, when they have you look at the categories where you normally list it, you can create a new category, and I suggest that you call it to something very simple like videos. You can write a short description for what is contained in this video. Again, make a reference to your website, put an email address, a phone number, even a link to a specific page, because you want these links and it will help you with your own SEO. Media interviews. I've been really fortunate to have some interviews, and it was interesting because the first video I created about why you should create a business video was called 7 Reasons Why You Need a Business Video. And the 8th one is now an 8th reason, but it's not in the video, and that is you can actually find or be asked for interviews because they've watched your video. So let me take you through the scenarios. I begin with, imagine a journalist or producer watches your video and wants to interview you. So they will be looking at your website, do you have relevant information? Are you offering services or products or experience? And therefore there is a natural fit. But once you have an interview, you're recognized as a local authority, not just with your customers, but with your competitors and with the professional associations and bodies. But what's very important, and this is what I was told when I had the interview with CTV. CTV is Canada's largest television network, and I spoke with a woman, and her story was really quite interesting. She Googled 10 marketing companies. She contacted 10. She emailed 10. So she called them, she emailed them, and only 6 got back to her. And I was the only one that had a video. So she said, Maureen, I could see you on TV, and I knew how you would be on TV. And that's why she said, and you'd be great on TV. And she said that was a huge competitive advantage. And I was smiling and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it was just interesting. Here you've got marketing professionals not getting back to the media. And then 2, only 1 of the 6 actually had a video. Another point as just general media responsiveness is anytime the media calls you, you should always get back to them immediately. I would say short of having a lung transfusion, and I say that jokingly, but very seriously, either they're calling you about a good thing or a bad thing. A good thing that they want you to make a comment about something, get back to them, or you're losing the opportunity to go to one of those other folks and get their feedback, and that will help that other competitor of yours become a local authority. Or 2, they're calling you about something bad. Maybe you've got an employee that's gone towards the Human Rights Tribunal, or you're being accused of some charge and they want your response. Media has to be responded to immediately. Let's talk a little bit about repurposing your content. A lot of people don't think that the video is anything more than a video and they can use it for social media and engage people. If you've written a video, you've probably had some notes or a script. So basically, most of, if not all of your content can be reused again. For example, you can write a blog. You can embed the link to your video in this blog. You can use content from the blog. For example, I have a blog called 7 Reasons Why You Need a Business Video. Well, I can tell you that all those 7 reasons have been tweeted or posted about. And you can also include the video itself when you're repurposing it. So for example, when I wrote a video wrote a blog, I included a video just to talk about the fact that you could add a video. So basically what it comes down to is so much effort is spent when you create a video where you've really had it done professionally that there's a lot of information that can be reused. And I use the word renewed, reused, perhaps edited, updated, but what is very helpful is if you're in a company where there's a large corporate process, if you're in a financial institution, a financial planner, a mortgage broker, you can't do things without approvals because of the whole licensing. Once you've got the text approved, you can now reuse it, and you don't have to worry about going back and getting it. So it makes things a lot easier for you. This is a blog I wrote that I really like. It's called 10 Tips for a Great Video Shoot. And Botox, this is true, needs 2 weeks to actually acclimatize to your skin to improve those lines. So if you're going to get Botox done before a video, you've got to do it at least 2 weeks. It's not worth the effort. So 10 tips for a great video shoot starts out as 10, and then as I add more, it becomes 11 and 12, and at that point you think, gee, I should be writing another blog and talk about 10 more tips or 5 more tips. And so it all goes back to I created one video, just one video about 7 reasons why you should have a video. I've now got 2 blogs. I've done on my site. I wrote a guest blog for the Small Business Center. This is the second webinar I've done with small business webinars and the Small Business Center, and it's all reusing and augmenting my initial research from my first video. So thanks so much for staying in touch with us today. I hope you've learned a number of things. If you have any questions, please give me an email. It's success, SUCCESS, @McCabeMarketing.ca, or just go directly to my website, McCabeMarketing.ca. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maureen. That was very, very useful, and thank you for your time today. Again, I will repeat the email address that Maureen just gave you. It's success@mccabemarketing.ca. Remember, it's .ca, not .com, or you can go directly to Maureen's website at mccabemarketing.ca. If you are not already a member of our LinkedIn group at a Small Business Accelerator, I'll encourage you to join us at linked.linkd.in/small-business-accelerator.
So I wrote an 8 report, and I called 8 money-burning marketing mistakes, and one of them referred to specifically people who don't set up social media profiles. So you're ready to do Facebook a year from now, or you're ready to try, doing something with Pinterest. Pinterest is how I mispronounce it, Pinterest, or Twitter, or Google. And if you don't have your own domain name, you won't get it. You won't get a vanity URL. So that's just one of 8 errors. There are other errors relating to lack of personalizing, problems with Groupon, number of areas in that area that people have come to me over the years and have told me about their challenges.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. Specifically, thank you, Maureen, for your time in re-recording it today. And hopefully people will be able to download your report from mccabemarketing.ca/free-report. I'll see you all in the next webinar. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.